Yeah.
All right.
Fist fighting. Yeah. We go from the hallowed halls at Kudos Arena in Sydney, Australia, to the world's most famous Apex. Because if you missed out on Valentine's Day, what better place to celebrate your love than the world's most famous Apex with 12 of your bestest buds and fellow couples as we welcome you to the People's Pre-Fight Show. Just ahead of UFC Vegas 102, the main event, we're going to get all sorts of middleweighty. Jared Cannonier taking on Gregory Rodrigues. We got Calvin Kattar versus Yusuf Zalal. All in all, I kid. This isn't a terrible Apex card. We've seen worse. We've seen better. I think we're going to have a pretty fun day of fist fighting. And joining me to answer your questions about said card is the chair swinging fool himself, the one and only Casey Leydon. We got a whole spin. That's pretty good.
I like this Apex card. I get it. There's no like big title ramifications, but it's a lot of familiar names, a lot of good matchups, and yeah, I think it's a good card. Look at me being positive. Yeah, I like it.
Good. Look, I don't think it's a bad one. I think the main event is interesting. The co-main event is awesome. Like, that is an awesome fight. There's a lot of storyline attached to that one. Edmund Shabazian, like, has everything on the line against a guy he should absolutely destroy. We got the Bonfim brothers, both in pretty fun fights. Angela Hill's fighting.
Yeah, Angela Hill's
who's been on this here show a few times.
Yeah,
previewing events. So yeah,
I'm a big Julia Avila fan. She's back. She has a tough fight, but I've always enjoyed her presence in the MMA community. So I like the card. I get it, and yeah, but like I say, if you have if your friends are in town and you want to go check out a new restaurant or bar in your neighborhood, go do that. But have your phone on, sneak, go to the bathroom, sneak in the results, or go to MMA fighting and just follow your news.
Yes, I spoke to Julia Avila earlier this week. You can check out the article. It is live now, MMAfighting.com. You can check it out. The bionic woman herself, Julia Avila, 2 repaired ACLs. She has just gone through the ringer the past few years. And let me break some news real quick. I don't like placing bets on fight night cards. I usually just reserve them for the watch party, but I'm feeling a little frisky. So I took 5 of my well-earned dollars. 5. And I created what I call the undervalue parlay. 3 fighters who I feel are being completely undervalued here. Actually, 2.5, because I feel like money has come in on Jared Cannonier a little bit more. So I have a little 3-leg parlay. Julia Avila at plus 480, Calvin Kattar at plus 360, and Jared Cannonier at plus 188. Those 3 legs add up to plus 7,583. If this hits, my $5 turns into $379.19.
You can retire on that. Yeah, just once that parlay hits, just email Tucker. I'm out of here.
I'll tell you what, man. If Julia Avila beats Jacqueline Cavalcante, I feel real good about the rest of this hitting. So and the reason I threw her in there is, one, I don't think she should be a plus 480 underdog to Jacqueline Cavalcante. All in all, I think this is a fight Julia can win if she's healthy, but Jacqueline's looked okay. She's won all 3 of her UFC fights. She's a very rangy striker, and she's not the most thrilling fighter to watch, if we're being honest, but maybe that's the reason she keeps winning. I think Calvin Kattar is vastly underrated. His 3 losses is, I heard AK say this in the preview show, and I completely agree. It's very Piotr Janish. Yes. The way he lost, the injury, I thought he beat Josh Emmett, and then, yes, he got kind of ragdolled by Aljamain Sterling, but we saw Piotr Jan get ragdolled by Merab Dvalishvili, and every time Calvin Kattar's in these types of situations, when he has a step back in competition, and Yusuf Zalal is really good, these are the moments where Calvin just is real pissed and wants to stick it to the people who doubt him. He's a very bulletin board material type of fighter, and I feel like he's got a whole bunch to go off of here. So, yeah, I figured let's have a little fun with this card. A little $5 sprinkle. Maybe we could turn it into $380. Who the hell knows?
I do like the co-main event a lot. I love the matchmaking. This is, I think, what Apex cards are designed for. Kind of, maybe not the biggest names, but guys we know are good. And vets versus vets maybe struggling a bit, and kind of those rising prospects. That's what we call Zaw right now, kind of a rising prospect.
Yeah.
I think at 28, and Cater, he's 36. He's been fighting. Man, I didn't realize how long
Almost
he's been a
37.
professional fighter. Wow, he's been doing this. He has been going at it for a while. So a lot of miles on him, but I don't know. I like to fight, and we're gonna see where both gentlemen are, and but super important fight for Cater if we want to kind of consider him a potential title contender rather than a really good featherweight, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think he has his walking papers or anything of a bad loss, but as far as like where we put him in the featherweight rankings, yeah, it's big for him.
Yeah, he gets he becomes like the new Alex Caceres in a lot of respects. So, all right, let's fire up some questions. Let's see what the peeps have to say. It is just pouring rain outside here in South Carolina, but it's okay.
Yeah, we had some drizzle in Southern California this week too, so it's good. All right, let me see. Hit our super chats first.
Yes, super chatters go right through the velvet rope. Last Stand 001. Would the UFC cut Mays if he got finished, or the fight ends up sucking big time? I don't know, man. I don't know if you saw, but I think John Morgan put this out. He kind of put out a sort of a roster list of how many fighters are in each division. There's 30 heavyweights in the UFC right now. 30. That's it. So, I mean, they dropped Jairzinho like a bad habit. So
that was a weird one. I mean, it had to be money related. Like they would just
Probably.
rather, because he's clearly still a top 10. I'm talking about Jairzinho, top 10, top 15 guy, and just to get rid of him, off 2 losses, Jairzinho, that's a weird one. But for Mays though, no, I don't think so. I think as long as whatever,
this is 11th UFC fight.
That is kind of wild. 11 fights, and if you told me give me kind of your best Dontel Mays fight memory, I'm like,
Probably the Josh Parisian win with the elbows from Crucifix, maybe.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I mean, probably the Andrei Arlovsky one is probably the most significant win of his career, but this is like GFL Andrei Arlovsky, like certainly not the same cat that was a champion 2 decades ago and plus. So I'll say more on the latter. If this is an awful fight and he loses, I think they let him go. But if they start scrapping and he gets KO'd, there's value on guys who go out there and get KO'd. So
I would agree. That's it's a weird dynamic what prize fighting is. Yeah, but if he loses badly, like violently, then he'll probably stick around. But if he loses boringly, and
yeah,
I guess, and then will get cut. I don't know. It's a weird sport, but here we are. But thank you, Last Stand, for spending $4.99 on a Dontel Mays question. That's very impressive. Big fan.
Shout out Dontel.
shout out. All right, thank you much. Another super chat.
Fahim, why is Hamzat keep postponing his tours? I have no idea.
His tours? What?
No.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know where he was touring or when he was supposed to tour. I don't know. Trying to keep up with what Hamzat is trying to do is just an impossible feat. So I kind of just let the UFC dictate what he does, and then I'll react to as such.
Yeah, I've kind of just stayed away from Hamzat news because I'm just kind of over it a bit. Like, all right, I just want to see him booked in a fight, and then I'll pay attention during fight week. I think there's just kind of too. Like, that's just me. There's just a little too much going on.
Yeah, that's where it is right now.
All right.
Dontel Mays is fighting. I can't focus on Hamzat Chimaev.
Yeah, one thing at a time. All right, here we go. Super chat from Steven. Look at this. Three-parter. This guy gets it.
He does. Boys, what's the best Apex fight of all time? Top 3 post-COVID. Best Apex fight of all time?
Yeah.
Dude, Brendan Allen and Chris Curtis is a damn good one.
I get the
I'm
fight.
just thinking off the top of my head.
I get the Fight Island ones confused sometimes. Was Dustin Poirier Dan Hooker? Or was that Fight Island, or was it?
No, that was an Apex fight.
Okay, there you go.
That might be the answer.
Yeah, as far as like having significant weight,
I
post
think
COVID
that's the
though,
correct answer.
or does that count as COVID?
Those are all post COVID. Those are all
Okay.
post COVID.
Yeah,
Any
both,
Apex card outside of like Contender Series.
Okay.
I don't
All
know
right.
where Sadiq Youssef, Mike Davis took place, if that was at the Apex or if that was at the Tough Gym on Contender Series. That should probably be, I don't know if it's top 3, but it's probably top 5. That is the best Contender Series fight of all time, for
Yes.
sure. So, yeah. I don't
Yes,
know. This is tough.
Tatsu Taira Roy Val was a really good one just a few months ago.
That was a good one.
But I think Poirier Hooker. I think that's number 1. I think we're gonna go with that. That's definitely number 1. I don't know. Hit us up in the comments. And that's the problem with Apex fights. Great fights kind of get easily forgotten. Like you'll see a great fight in the moment, like, oh, that's awesome. But without the crowd and the big spectacle, we kind of just forget. Oh, Josh Emmett, Shane Burgos. Was that the one where Burgos had the delayed knockout?
No.
Oh, that was different.
That was the one with
Barboza.
Josh Emmett, like, basically fought with one leg. He tore his ACL in that fight. That was a damn good one, too.
Okay.
That was a pay-per-view. That was the Barboza fight. That was a pay-per-view.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was in front of people.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some good ones. I have to do my research. So, 2, Mike,
so,
WWE, TNA. Cool, keep going. Yeah.
Oh, someone mentioned Ferguson iced by Gaethje. That was not an Apex fight. That was an empty arena. Huh?
That was in Jacksonville.
Yeah, empty arena in Jacksonville. It felt like an Apex fight, but it was empty. It was a really big Apex.
Yeah, that was the most gnarly fight I've ever watched.
Yeah. Oh, Yuri.
Because,
I forgot Yuri versus Reyes. Hey, Dominic.
Yeah,
Chaos.
that's in the top 3.
Dominic Chaos. Everyone's Brazilian. Yeah. But thank you.
Great
Thank
fight.
you. Fun.
Like WWE, TNA together. Surely we see the return of aces and eights. Sure. 3, Paca Porta.
That's a super chat. Thank you, Steven.
That's how you spend your cash right there. Well done. Saul, I'm sick. Will the fights heal me? Cool sight, by the way. Thank you, Saul. Will these fights heal the sick?
Yeah.
Does it have that kind of power? Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
sure.
way worse. You could. Hey, look, Home Improvement just got on Netflix. I just saw, so you could watch. You can go back and watch Home Improvement episodes, or you can watch some fist fighting. So I think you'll be okay. I don't know if it'll heal you, but you won't have a terrible time. If you're sick, this is a perfect thing to do today. Perfect.
Watching fights when you're sick is kind of the best because it just like 7-8 hours. You're just like
you might fall asleep a little bit. You might be on one fight. You might be in the Dontel Mays fight. Wake up in the middle of a big exchange between Calvin Kattar and Yusuf Salal, and you don't even know how you got there. That's super fun. Love that.
Hope you get better, Sal. But yes, you will feel better after watching these fights. And
yes,
stay hydrated. Stay hydrated.
Correct.
Thank you, Sal. One last super chat before we hit the other questions.
Sleeto, thoughts on John Jones being drunk? Shocker on IG.
Did I miss this? When did this happen?
There's a post in our Slack channel.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch it. I've seen a clip of it. It just ends in kind of a weird way. It was so strange that. So here's the post that I saw. John Jones went live on Instagram in the early hours last night and was apparently talking about wanting to kill somebody. Quote, you go on a trip and get pissed off, disappointed, and as a dad, you just want to kill him. And then he ended the live. So maybe go check that out. But it got to the point where we looked at like arrest records to see if he got picked up last night. And we looked in the county with which he lives. And there was no arrest record. So I don't know. Just
right,
this is John. Sometimes John just kind of falls down these holes. Sometimes, who knows?
If I'm the UFC, the longer John is out, I think the harder it is for him to come back reliably. So I think he's a man that needs to stay busy, a man that needs a goal. So I don't know. That's not good if John Jones is opening up his phone while being drunk, but not shocking either. So yeah. All right. Thank you, Sleeto. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, not really.
Yeah. Just yeah. Oh, and a couple more super chats. Ooh.
Ryan, thoughts on Baja Monday's Turner fight? Yes, we confirmed multiple sources yesterday. First reported by the great CC Legaspi. What a nice individual he is. Love catching up with him when I get to cover fights, boots on the ground. But yeah, man, this is a fucking slapper right here. We got two tall, huge, lanky lightweights doing battle. Ignacio Baja Monday is coming off a really good finish against Manuel Torres. It was a hell of a performance. And he's fighting Jalen Turner, who got stopped by Renato Moicano in his last fight at UFC 300. He's lost 3 of his last 4. Good fight. I'm surprised because I kind of thought Turner might be done with lightweight. And the thing that surprised me most about the booking and the timing of this fight, and I don't know if this came together quick or if this was kind of in the works for a while and it just got made official. Jalen Turner making 155 in less than a month kind of scares the hell out of me, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Although he did do it for the Bobby Green fight and did that on like a week's notice, so maybe he's got that figured out.
Yeah. Fun fight. Very tall fight. I don't know.
Super tall fight.
Yeah, super tall fight. That's. I've been working in MMA for 20 years. That's my analysis of this fight. That fight's tall. That's gonna be a tall fight.
It's tall and it's going to be awesome. That is a great fight. It's #lightweights, so you know it's good. These are two guys who, if they were in any other division for the most part, would probably be top 10 guys, maybe top 15 at worst, but they're like maybe top 30 in the UFC's lightweight division right now, which is crazy. So, yeah, great fight.
How important is this for Turner?
It's huge. It's a huge fight for him.
Turner is now 29 as a lightweight. So, I mean, essentially, he is at his athletic prime. Like this, what we're getting from Jalen Turner, this is him. You know, it's no kind of, this is what we got. So, if we want to think of him as a potential title contender, potential top 10 fighter, which a lot of us thought he was, but he just kind of doesn't happen. I think he needs to kind of win this fight decisively for us to kind of put him in that echelon. Otherwise, maybe 170 might be the thing for him after this.
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna look up real quick. And Baja Mondays is tough, man. But look at his last. This is a step back for Jalen and
for sure.
Batush Gamrot, Dan Hooker, King Green, Renato Moicano were his last 4 fights. Yeah. Like this is a step back.
Yeah. And before that it was Brad Riddell, who was on a hot streak at the time.
Yep. Jamie Malarkey was doing okay. Uros Medic has done really well. So this is a big one for him.
Yeah. UFC clearly saw something in Turner. They gave him the push. Didn't work out for him, and so now it's time to rebuild, and we'll see if he rebuilds at 55 or 170. I think a lot of us want to see him to go to 170 because I think we feel we've seen enough of him at 55. Now it's kind of, I don't know. Let's see what happens at 170, but this is the fight he wants, and let's see what happens. I like the fight.
Yeah,
it's a good fight. Where's
Gamrot fight? This is 313. March
313. Okay. Oh, pretty close. Yep. Pretty close.
We're close. So the Gamrot was a wicked close fight. The Dan Hooker fight was awesome and crazy and super close. Both he lost split decisions, but you could probably make a case.
Yeah,
probably make a case he beat Gamrot. I don't think he beat Dan Hooker, but it was super close.
And that was a wild fight. Versus the Hooker fight was wild. Okay, now
the Moicano one was real weird too because Green hurt him bad, or not Green. Turner hurt Moicano bad, and then just tried to do the walk off.
Which is smart. I agree. I don't hate him for that because going underground with Moicano might have been more dangerous than attempting the walk off and kind of forcing the ref to make a quick decision. But that's when even in his last 3 losses, there were moments. Obviously, he could have won those fights. Even though he got finished by Moicano, he was clearly super competitive in that fight. So Good fight. Thank you, Ryan. Let me ask you. Oh, cool. What's going on? You good?
Nothing. I'm just getting the TV ready.
Okay. All right.
Bobby, more concerned about Verdun, Mir, or Yoel Shogun? Bobby, the GFL is not real.
It's not real.
These are fight posters. We don't even have dates. We don't even have venues. We have nothing. We just have fight posters with 2 names on them. So for now, I will admit seeing the announcements made me a little sad, kind of threw up in my mouth a touch. But then I realized this isn't real. This is fantasy. This is pixie dust right now. Until I see these 2 guys actually step into a cage and fist fight each other, I don't believe it. I do not believe a thing GFL says at this point. So that's where I'm at.
Absolutely.
Weidman Rockhold might actually, that one actually made me feel worse than maybe any of these other ones. Although the Shogun Yoel one is pretty tough.
They're not real. They're not real. That's all.
They're not
That's
real.
all.
They're just not real.
I'm not even gonna critique them. They're not even real. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bobby. One more super chat.
Beal, got a bet on Chaos Williams by KO and a parlay with Calvin in a RoboCop sub, which has a better chance. Also, Casey, you should rock a Liddell Mohawk. Which has a better chance? Like of all of these things?
I guess.
I mean, Calvin winning, I think, probably is the best chance. I don't know. RoboCop sub could happen, but Cannonier's never been submitted, I don't believe. But Chaos Williams by KO, you're always live for Chaos Williams by KO. If Chaos Williams wins this fight, he's winning by KO. So I'll say for like specific legs of like what I think has the better chance of happening, it's Chaos Williams by KO. More than RoboCop sub.
You know, Chaos Williams, his UFC stint has been way more impressive than what I kind of thought in my head, honestly.
He's like a 1 loss, right?
2 losses, a split decision, Rainy Brown, which is Rainy Brown's
That was a super close fight, too.
Yeah, extremely talented welterweight. And then he lost to Michel Pereira by decision, which, Michel Pereira, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't fought in almost he fought in May. Yeah.
He fights in May look at his last like 3 fights, they're all in May.
Yeah, he fights
He's
once
like
a
Mr.
year.
May. He's Mr. May.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be weird watching him fight not in May.
Oh, he's done for. He's losing tonight. Okay, yeah. Your bet. Yeah. Hey, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Yeah, numbers don't lie. Rip that ticket up. Sorry, Bill. All right. Thank you much. And no on the Liddell Mohawk, but no, I appreciate the
It's high and tight. It's pretty close.
Yeah. It's all right. What else we got here? Let me see. Back to our gentleman that was sick.
Laughter is the best medicine, so fighting must do something to heal the sick. there's some middleweight and heavyweight fights out here that just might get you. So yeah.
All right. Mr. Boza.
Mike had Yusuf Zalal on his draft league team today. What does he think of his chances versus Calvin Kattar? So I have the emotional hedge here. My official pick is Calvin Kattar. I have a parlay. It was just if you missed the beginning, I have a little $5 sprinkle. It's called the undervalued parlay on 3 fighters who I feel are way too big of underdogs right now. And Kattar is part of it. I also have Yusuf on my fantasy team. And look, that was my spot to be like, okay, I need to make a move. And if this hits, this is really good for me if Yusuf Zalal wins this fight. This is very, very good because I get the ranked points plus a very, very good chance. And even if he loses, he has a very good chance of fighting again before the time frame is out. So I feel okay about this, but I also have the emotional hedge. I do feel like Calvin Kattar can win this fight because I know Kattar got taken out a whole lot by Aljamain Sterling. I don't think he was all there for that fight. I haven't talked to him in a while, so I don't know what was going on in his head for that fight because he got taken out a whole bunch, and his takedown defense is usually really, really solid. he got nothing going in that fight against Aljamain Sterling. And I don't know if Yusuf Salal, his wrestling game is going to be enough to put him on his back. Who knows? Maybe it is. But the way I see this fight playing out is these two are going to be on the feet for the most part. And I will favor Calvin Kattar in a striking match against Yusuf Salal most times, even though he's getting up there in age. And we're going to find out, we're going to learn a lot about Calvin Kattar in this fight. We're going to know if he's like, I'm not going to say washed, but if he's on the back nine anyways, but is he on hole 15, 16, 17, or is he on like hole 12?
Yeah.
We'll know for sure.
It could be one of those y'all must have forgot moments too. I could see that, you know, but and they were, oh, he still got it, you know, so it's a good fight. It's a good fight.
Yeah, this has Giga Chikadze vibes written all over it. Because no one picked Kattar to beat Giga. Nobody fucking picked him. And Calvin had receipts for everybody, including me. When I talked to him, he's like, I know you picked him. I know you picked Giga, you son of a bitch.
I like
that. You're right.
Sure I like that part about Calvin. You know, like he's the you get that little chip, you know, but you know, it's
when I went to Punta Cana, a member, I don't know if it's like Calvin's uncle or like his mom's cousin or something was there as part of our group. So like I got to like hang out with like members of Calvin Kattar's family, like unbeknownst to me until I got there, and people were like, because people like somehow knew who I was, like through the friend. They're like, oh, how do you know Mike Heck? He's like, oh yeah, he's like married to my best friend or whatever. So I go down there and immediately he was like, oh, this is so and so. And we talked fighting, and then as soon as he came, they're like, oh, you got to meet this guy. This guy's like cousins with Calvin's mom. I was like, oh shit. And then we talked fighting for like 4 consecutive days after that. It was great.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Boza. All right. From Pro Fights Info.
Did y'all do anything special with your significant others for Valentine's Day, aka Oregon's birthday as an official state in the union?
Happy birthday, Oregon.
Happy birthday, AK / Oregon.
You in Oregon, AK in Oregon.
Did you and Esther do anything special?
Yeah, me and Esther, we went out. We had a nice dinner at some Japanese cafe in Koreatown, and then we went to the El Rey, and we saw this doom metal band called King Woman, and it was a wonderful show.
My wife and I, like, we understand what Valentine's Day is, but we're like one of those hipster couples, like, it's not cool. So we do like little things, like she likes Diet Coke, so I got her like a bottle of Diet Coke or something. Like, we were just happy, like sitting around doing nothing. My birthday was also 2 days before that, and we did a little bit more for that. So, yeah.
If that band wasn't in town last night, we would have totally just sat on the couch and watched the movie.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. That was awesome.
Mike, you know, I mean, I know you're a family man, but you know, I don't have any kids or anything. But I think we're both in agreement. Like the nights where you just, you know what, I ain't got shit to do. Let's just sit down and watch TV. Those are the best.
It's like my favorite thing in the world.
Those are the best. I don't know, it happens to us all. You get to some point in your life, you're like, I could go out, but you know what? I bought this damn couch. I'm gonna sit on it tonight.
If my life played out the way I feel when I wake up in the morning and like get a workout in, and then me and my family have these conversations like, you know what we should do? Like, let's just get through the day and then we'll go play pickleball or something. Yeah, let's do it. And then like by 4:30, we're just like, nah, let's just like make some good food and do nothing and just sit around. Yeah. We tried playing pickleball, then it started raining. We were like, should we just be done playing pickleball today? Like, all right, let's just go home and watch TV.
All right, a couple more questions before we get to our picks, because it is time for the fights to start soon.
Yes, let me get it going. But this could be one of those ones where like the first fight doesn't start till 4:30, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Casey, what songs would be your go-to walkout songs, and why do more UFC fighters not walk out to metal? I'm constantly like, if I fought, I'd type some crazy breakdowns with my walkouts.
To answer the metal question, I'm actually kind of shocked. Like more fighter, like I think in like the 2010s, early 2000s, when the UFC was getting big, we were kind of sold by Dana White that every fighter listens to, you know, Limp Bizkit or, you know, House of Pain, like that kind of hard new metal rock and stuff. But I don't know, if you go to gyms, like it's almost always hip hop playing. So I think that's just the general vibe for most fighters. And I kind of get that because when you kind of walk out to the cage, if you're listening to like a crazy, like really aggressive metal song, actually I think that's just almost too much anxiety. Like, cause it's already a very stressful moment walking out to that cage for fighters, and I think that's why you see a lot of fighters actually walk out to really chill music, or maybe music just kind of gets you in a good vibe, but nothing like super aggro. You just don't. I just think that's a little too much. Um, I don't know, just aggression in their head. I think that's why most fighters don't walk out to kind of heavy music. But personally for me, I walked out to I mentioned this before, the band Converge from Boston, their song Dark Horse. But yeah, that was my go to walkout song. But but man, there were lots of like I had like a list of like 15, 20 songs, and I eventually went with that one. But there were some like poppy dance songs. Like I wanted to walk out to like Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball, but like who's that? But I think someone already did it. Who's that guy who did the Miley Cyrus thing?
Probably Tai Tuivasa.
No. Who's the fighter that dropped the ball? What was it? Was it Miley Cyrus, that the middleweight guy? I thought he fought. Don't worry about it.
Julian Marquez.
Yeah, Julian Marquez. That's it. But someone already walked out to it. But yeah.
I had a buddy.
Whatever makes you feel good.
I had a buddy. Yeah, I had a buddy who fought, and he would always come out. I had two buddies who fought. One like kind of stopped fighting early. He would come out to Good Vibrations by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. And then my other buddy, who was always like an amateur lightweight champion, like every promotion he fought for, he would come out to I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. And he would always be the last guy to walk. So like his opponent, the challenger, would come out to this like hardcore hip hop or rock song, and they'd be all jammed, like all ramped up and fired up. And when you go to those regional cards, it's always like your gym against their gym. Mm-hmm. And they're all cheering for him. And then I Want to Dance with Somebody comes on, and the whole place starts singing it and dancing around because they're all drunk and it's just a jam. Like you just can't help but get up and sing. And like, it just wears on the opponent. They're like, oh shit. Like, this is a weird song. I lost my vibe. Plus my fans are singing his song, and it completely threw them off. So smart.
One of my favorite things about being in the arena, sometimes you won't get to see it on TV, but if you're in the arena, so the first fighter walks out, and then the next fighter walks out, and then the fighter is already in the cage. You'll see him like kind of dancing to the song. You're like, oh, that's a good jam. It's always kind of fun. They're like, all right, get back to get in a fight. But there's about 10, 15 seconds where they're like, because that's the thing if you walk into really intense songs, like you just kind of can't keep that intensity for so long because you walk out, then you have to wait for the Vaseline, the cup check, the announcements, and everything. So there's a lot of kind of you go up really high, and you have to kind of come back down, and the fight starts. So I get it why everyone doesn't walk out to crazy metal. But thank you, Star Wars stuff. One last super chat before we get out of here. We'll get to our
Easy
picks,
raise.
sorry.
Angela Hill is a pioneer, but does she have a Hall of Fame career? Would her fight with Andrade be Hall of Fame worthy? Would the fight with Lemos, Stern, Watterson?
It's a tough one.
It's tough.
Her fight with Andrade is awesome. I don't think it was high enough on the card to be like a Hall of Fame type fight. Angela Hill is definitely a pioneer. I don't think she's Hall of Fame right now, but who knows how long she can keep this. She's 40 years old right now, and if she can kind of keep that win 2, lose 1 streak for a while, she might have almost like Jim Miller type of numbers for like women, for at least women in the UFC, a woman fighter in the UFC in terms of her the amount of fights she's been in. But on just pure ranking alone, that's a tough one. But I'm a big Angela Hill fan.
Yeah, I don't think she gets in, unfortunately. But maybe UFC with the TKO collab, maybe they'll do we'll put the entire season of The Ultimate Fighter 20 in because it was for the title and it introduced this division, and maybe they do something like that gets her in. It's kind of like WWE will put in the NWO or put in DX or put in a faction, and then maybe individually they'll go in as well. But maybe that just gets some extra fighters in there. I don't know, but
I mean,
How many? I mean,
She's
damn,
sneaking up
dude,
on
she's
30 fights in the UFC alone.
26 UFC fights.
Yeah, I'm assuming she'll finish at least 30 by the end of her UFC run.
She has 30 pro MMA fights, and all but one was either in the UFC or Invicta. That's fucking crazy.
She got signed as a 1-0 fighter. Yeah.
Yeah. She had a Muay Thai fight for Lion Fight. That's when I first knew who she was. Because I watched her fight on Lion Fight because that was a big New England promotion. So,
Yeah. If
Levy's back. Good to see her.
yeah, okay. And her little baby coming up.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see her. I haven't seen her in person in a couple of years, actually, so I can't wait to see her. But what was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, Angela Hill, even her 1-0 fight is really, really interesting. I think she's talked about it before, but she basically only took that fight because the people at Tough, the producers, knew about her, but they wanted her to have at least a 1-0 record. So basically, she just quickly learned MMA like in a few months and just took an MMA fight and ended up winning it. So like, it is wild how extremely like raw she came into the sport. You know, just an art student that was trying to lose some pounds and did a little Muay Thai, and there she is.
Oh, yeah. By the way, and they just brought this up on the broadcast. They put the little lower third on it, and that's something I didn't even mention about Calvin Kattar. Not training with the cartel this time. He's in he got ready in Montreal at TriStar.
Okay.
Much like Rob Font did for his fight with Kyler Phillips, and much like Rob Font is doing in preparation for Dominic Cruz. Now Gian Matsumoto next Saturday. I don't know if you saw this. Gian Matsumoto no longer fighting at UFC 313. He is stepping up to fight Rob Font next Saturday in Seattle. So good fight, man. That's a very interesting fight. So, all right. Bonuses? What do we got?
Oh, hold on one moment. Let me pull the card up. You know, oh, man. Ooh. I'm going to go performance bonus. Rodolfo Vieira. You like that? Performance bonus. Ooh, I think this is. I'm gonna go Edmund Shabazi.
Do it.
I'm gonna go Edmund Shabazi.
Okay, yeah, I knew you were gonna do it.
Yeah. And fight of the night. I'm giving it to my girl, Angela Hill versus Ketlin Souza. F it.
I have the same performance bonus as you have. No, you know what? I'll say Chaos Williams gets a sneaky third round KO. Shabazian gets the other. I'll go Kattar Zalal fight of the night.
I like it.
All right, so let's go to the main card picks. Let me just pull up the odds courtesy of our friends at FanDuel as Jacqueline Cavalcante is making her way to the world's most famous Apex Octagon.
They're walking out right now? Oh, I need to watch that fight. Okay.
They're walking out right now. It says Connor Matthews, Jose Delgado. I believe that's the featured prelim. So Rodolfo Vieira, the minus 290 favorite, taking on Andre Petrossi, who comes back at plus 235. I think we're both in the same boat here. Vieira first round submission.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Vieira second round submission, but yes, I think it will be a dominant, impressive victory for Vieira.
Next fight, we got Ishmael Bonfim, who fights after his brother, taking on Nazim Sadikov. This is a good fight. Bonfim, the favorite, minus 220. The comeback on Sadikov, plus 184. This one could steal fight of the night.
Agreed.
But I'll go Bonfim by decision. I think it's a closer fight than the odds suggest.
I'm also going, same with you, Bonfim by decision.
Edmund Shabazian, big favorite, minus 450. The comeback on Dylan Butka, plus 350. We're both picking Shabazian to get a performance bonus, so I assume we're picking the same way this thing ends.
Yeah, Shabazian. I'm going Shabazian. Shabazian. First round KO.
Co-main event, Yusuf Zalal, the minus 460 favorite. The comeback on Calvin Kattar, plus 360. I'm going Calvin Kattar by decision here.
if I'm betting on the line, I'm definitely going Cater. But just a straight pick 'em, I am going Zalal by decision. But the line is insane. I don't get that. But yeah,
it's crazy. And then the main event: Gregory Rodrigues, the minus 225 favorite, the comeback on the one-time middleweight title challenger Jared Cannonier plus 188. Where are you at? Who you got?
Mr. UFC Apex main eventer Jared Cannonier does it again, and this time he does it with a 4th round TKO.
Hit the music. I have the exact same pick.
Wow, look at that.
Round 4. Hit the music. We're out of here.
Maybe I'm your best friend. Just
maybe you are. Jacqueline Cavalcanti in the cage. Julia Avila is about to get in there. Very emotional for her. Just got slapped across the face. Now she's ready.
By her coaches, or I assume her coaches.
Coach, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But she's about to walk in. This could be fun. We'll see if the undervalue parlay moves on to leg 2 or if it ends real quick. But we'll talk about it. We'll let you know. Stick with us, MMAfighting.com, for highlights, live blogs, etc. If you're hitting the town running tonight. And then you can watch us after the fact. We will react to all the festivities right after the main event. So for Casey, I'm Mike Heck. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the fights, everybody, because they're starting right now.
That was intense.